Geisha are the artists who've been carrying on Japanese traditions for centuries. But there's so much that's hidden from the public, as well as many misconceptions about their world. I'm Jun from Japan Junkie, and today we're revealing 10 secrets of the geisha. Number 10. There's often confusion about who exactly is considered a geisha. Firstly, this isn't really a geisha. This is a maiko, which is a geisha in training. When people think of geisha, usually this is the image that comes to mind. There are many differences between maiko and geisha. Maiko have more elaborate hairstyles and accessories, taller shoes, and longer obi, which is the kimono sash. Secondly, this isn't a geisha either. This is a courtesan, known as oiran. They wear much flashier colours and many more hair ornaments, especially these tortoiseshell sticks. The real oiran don't exist anymore because prostitution is illegal. But there are women often dressed as oiran at festivals and cultural events. And this isn't a geisha, it's a tourist. There are plenty of tourists who get dressed up and have their hair and makeup done, which makes other people believe they've spotted a geisha. There are many small differences compared to the real thing, but an easy way to tell is that tourists are more likely to be excited by photographers and will be happy to pose, while the real geisha will be taking the back roads and rushing between appointments. Number 9. Over the last century, some misunderstandings have led to people having the wrong idea about geisha, especially outside of Japan. The word geisha means artist, and they train hard for many years to be able to do their jobs, which is to be an elite entertainer. But during World War II, prostitutes started copying the geisha's dress and makeup, trying to pass themselves off as exotic geisha for soldiers who didn't know the difference. There were reports from 1945 that GIs chanting "We want geisha girls" could be heard at nighttime in Ginza. The phrase geisha girl, or geisha girl, came to refer to prostitutes, and even though it had nothing to do with geisha, it tarnished the name. Western movie portrayals of geisha really didn't help this misconception either.
Look at this one. Does a geisha girl ever go out on a date?
Even though this confusion happened a long time ago, the wrong impression was established. Number 8. There are many reasons why people visit geisha, but they all come down to the fact that the purpose of a geisha experience is to be enjoyable. This could be because of the entertainment, the conversation, or just the company. It can be like visiting a therapist for people who have difficulty expressing their emotions. Geisha can also act similarly to a business advisor. They have such a wide social network that they often know a lot about a range of industries. They might be able to suggest solutions or contacts for their clients, or at the very least, they can listen while their patron discusses their work. Number 7. Geisha are expensive. You may only be spending a short time with them, but it has taken them a lifetime to become the height of elegance and to develop into the perfect entertainer. And to be a geisha is expensive. A quality kimono alone can cost a small fortune, easily around $10,000. When hosting important events, having a geisha attend can enhance a person or company's reputation. Imagine having someone at your function who can easily speak with everyone, who's a master of social etiquette and can entertain and make sure everyone's having a good time. Even a geisha's presence alone would help the company's reputation. It shows success and refined taste in requesting such a presence. Tourists who want a geisha experience often split the cost, and even this can start at hundreds of dollars per person. Traditionally, the time spent in the meeting would be measured by incense sticks. High-priced geisha might use smaller sticks, causing them to burn more quickly and therefore charging more. And very high-class geisha might have even burnt multiple sticks at once. Number 6. The iconic white face powder with red and black accents was applied by geisha to clearly define their facial features by candlelight, in the era before electricity was commonly used. The unpainted 2 or 3-pronged lines on the neck give the effect that the makeup is a mask and reminds people that there is a real woman underneath. Geisha used to blacken their teeth, but it doesn't look as bad as it sounds. Because the makeup was so white, it would make their teeth look yellow, so blackening them would just make their teeth appear invisible behind their red lips. Maiko hairstyles can take up to 2 hours to create in the salon. They have their hair styled only once a week, meaning they need to keep the style perfect, otherwise they need to have it reset. To maintain the shape, they sleep on wooden neck rests. A geisha may develop a bald spot from the strain of having the elaborate hairstyle pulling on her scalp, so nowadays, full geisha wear wigs. Number 5. What geisha wear is a large part of their image, with different meanings behind every style choice. The colour of the collar represents the stages of education from maiko through to geisha. The accessories and the kimono patterns need to appropriately represent the season. Maiko wear raised shoes that keep their kimono off the ground, and walking takes practice. But just getting dressed is a difficult process. Just the obi of a maiko's outfit alone is too heavy for her to hold off the floor by herself. Many geisha houses have a dresser employed to help with properly wearing the kimono and tying the obi. This is such a physically demanding task that it's usually done by a man. Historically, the obi sash was tied many different ways, but after the Edo period, most people started wearing it knotted in the back so it wouldn't get in the way. Once the standard was set, a way of telling the authentic geisha from the imposters was where and how their obi was tied. As part of their job, prostitutes can't keep tying and untying such a difficult clothing item, so even if they tried to impersonate real geisha, they would still wear their sash tied in the front. Number 4. As maiko and maiko in training are demonstrating their dedication to the geisha house where they live, they have to follow the strictest rules. This includes household chores and assisting the older members of the house without complaining. They only have 1 or 2 days off per month, and they aren't even allowed to use mobile phones. Many maiko go from living with their families to very little communication, sometimes only once a year. This can be especially difficult for girls who start training as young as 15 years old. The girls don't receive a salary. Instead, the geisha house covers their expenses and training costs. They may receive pocket money, but they aren't permitted to carry any while working. These strict rules are part of proving themselves as dedicated apprentices worthy of becoming geisha. Number 3. A geisha is an artist, and her art is entertainment, which involves many skills. They're trained in various traditional art forms and are highly competent conversationalists. Geisha may choose a specialty, like singing or dancing. Games are also part of a geisha's entertainment repertoire. They're usually innocent fun for adults and are simple to learn and fun to play. One of the most common games is a 2-player rhythm game that involves concentration. A box is placed on the table and the 2 players take turns placing a flat hand on it in time with the traditional song that they're singing. You can choose to pick up the box on your turn, in which case the opponent places a closed fist instead of a flat hand. If you place a flat hand when the box isn't there, or a fist when the box is there, you lose. It's often a drinking game, so be warned, it gets harder to play the more you drink. And maiko play this game almost daily, so they're very skilled players. Number 2. Of course, geisha are just like all women. Despite the misunderstandings, they sell their art and never their bodies. Especially in modern times, geisha have freedom over the relationships they have in their lives. But a geisha dedicates her life to art, not a man. They are allowed to get married, but it means that they would have to retire. In the past, a geisha may choose to have a danna, who is a wealthy patron. While the word translates to husband, the role was only as a supporter who provided financial assistance. He would pay off debts to the house where she was trained and would give gifts and experiences, depending on his finances. This could be several hundred millions of yen, so of course this wasn't something that everyone could afford. A geisha may choose a danna based on true romantic feelings or love, but this is never exchanged for money. It's viewed more as a partnership, where the man takes pride in supporting her career and giving his favourite geisha a luxury lifestyle. Today, these relationships are virtually non-existent. Men are not as likely to spend their life savings just for the prestige of supporting a geisha, and geisha prefer to have complete control over their own finances and life choices. Number 1. There are only approximately 1,000 geisha left, and unfortunately one of the biggest problems they're facing at the moment is harassment. Police are having a hard time with tourists in towns, especially Gion in Kyoto, because of the lack of restraint people show around geisha. Lately there's been an increase in tourists touching geisha in the streets. Some cultures have no problem throwing an arm around a stranger, but Japan is different. Strangers don't usually touch each other and avoid unnecessary contact. Besides, it's difficult enough for maiko to simply walk down the street. They're wearing a priceless kimono that can weigh up to 20 kilograms while balancing on wooden shoes on a paved road. They're just focused on making it to their appointments and don't need the worry of damaging the perfect image that's taken hours to create. It may be obvious to some that touching is inappropriate, but the impact of even stopping geisha for photos can be just as bad. Punctuality is a big deal in Japan, and these women have multiple appointments in a day. Imagine the panic of leaving high-paying clients waiting. It doesn't start the party off with a good feeling. If you see a geisha, the best thing that you can do is enjoy the fact that you had a sighting of a rare cultural icon. Thank you for staying all the way to the end. You can leave a comment with any suggestions you have for future videos. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.